Focus of many religions is on helping those who have no faith in God to believe in God. For Western faiths, belief in God is for many both the beginning and the end of the process. Once you have come to accept God, there is nothing more to do. Your salvation is assured. However, in Hinduism, belief is only the first step. Hindus want to move beyond just believing in God to experiencing the divine for themselves. My Guru summarizes faith as a Hindu practice. Astikya, faith, is to cultivate an unshakable faith. Believe firmly in God, God's Guru, and your path to enlightenment. Trust in the words of the masters, the scriptures, and traditions. Practice devotion and sadhana to inspire experiences that build advanced faith. Be loyal to your lineage, one with your Satguru. Shun those who try to break your faith by argument and accusation. Avoid doubt and despair. Like faith, the world's creation is addressed in all religions. A common Vedantic view is that God creates and is His creation. This panentheistic vision contrasts with other religious views, such as creation out of nothing and non-creation, the view that reality is beginningless and eternal. The Vedantic view of God's creating the world from Himself, or emanational creation, is described in the Mundaka Upanishad. As a spider spins and withdraws its web, as herbs grow from the earth, as hair grows on the head and body of a person, so also from the imperishable arises this universe. Examining these concepts of faith and creation together enables us to make an interesting comparison between the perspectives of a modern scientist and a Hindu sage. The scientist's natural question is, how can you prove the existence of God? The sage's natural rejoinder is, how can you deny the existence of God? This polarity arises from the fact that everything the scientist perceives is matter, and everything the sage sees is God. The cultivation of faith can be compared to the growth of a tree. As a young sapling, it can easily be uprooted, just as faith based solely on belief can easily be shaken or destroyed. Faith bolstered with philosophical knowledge is like a medium-sized tree, strong and not easily disturbed. Faith matured by personal experience of God and the gods is like a full-grown tree which we can hold on to and which can withstand external forces. Let's look more closely at faith's three developmental stages. Blind faith. Faith in its initial stage is simply belief without the support of either knowledge or experience. Keeping our faith strong in this phase depends heavily on the company we keep. We need to associate with spiritual companions and avoid worldly and non-religious people. Attending a weekly satsang with devotees is sustaining. Having the darshan of visiting swamis and other Hindu religious leaders helps keep our faith strong, as we see them as living examples, souls who know from experience the principles we believe in. Informed conviction. Faith in its second stage is belief strengthened by a sound understanding of Hindu philosophy. My Guru called this the bedrock on which faith is sustained. This unmoving foundation of faith is established by studying in a systematic and consistent manner to increase your knowledge about Hindu philosophy and practices. Such a study can include comparing Hinduism with the world's other major religions to understand how they differ and how they are similar. Personal realization. In the third stage of faith, personal experience transforms informed conviction into certainty. My Guru refers to this inner knowing as advanced faith, established by one's own spiritual, unsought-for, unbidden revelations, visions or flashes of intuition, which one remembers even stronger as the months go by, more vividly than something read from a book, seen on television, or heard from a friend or a philosopher. He stresses that spiritual experiences, when verified by what yogis, rishis, and sadhus have seen and heard, and whose explanations centuries are preserved, create a new superconscious intellect. This type of faith, more unknowing than a conviction, is unshakable. Personal realization is the fulfillment of the second part of our earlier quote from Swami Chinmayanandaji. The reward of faith is to see what you believed. As we evolve spiritually, faith matures. I have seen so many devotees growing into a deeper relationship with God, or more profound acceptance of divinity in their lives. Here are some examples. First example, a girl attends the local temple weekly with her parents, but never thinks much about Hindu beliefs and practices. As a teenager, she enjoys reading books about holy men and women, the stories of their lives and their wise sayings. The experience of these great souls noticeably deepens her conviction in the precepts she was taught at the temple as a child. Second example, a young man attends an upadesha by a visiting Swami, whose presence is radiant in spiritual light. His talk increases the seeker's faith and inspires him to intensify his religious practices. A woman meditates every morning, but her thinking always distracts her, and she never goes deeply within. One morning, for no apparent reason, distractions recede, and she finds herself going in and in and in, and staying in an expansive, peaceful state for a long time. Returning to normal awareness, she sees life differently, holding a new perspective that God is a consciousness permeating all, and she is that consciousness. The belief that the soul and God are one takes on new meaning to her. Let me share a story to illustrate. I often travel to places such as Toronto, where there are large communities of Sri Lankan Hindus. My Guru's Guru is a Sri Lankan Hindu, so I often share stories about him. Early on, I noticed that the devotees listening would readily put Yogaswami up on a high pedestal for his profound realizations, without any sense that one day those same realizations would be theirs. And a final quote from my Guru, occasionally in a cross-section of the inner mind, when light merges into transcendental form, the young aspirant may view the golden actinic face of a master peering into his, kindly and all-knowing. He is looking at his own great potential.